Ladies and gentlemen, before you start your day, let me ask you, are you in control of your morning? Or is your morning in control of you? Are you waking up with urgency, with focus, with fire? Or are you waking up like life owes you something? Because the truth is, the way you start your day decides the direction of your life. The first hour is the most important part of your day. It's the foundation. If the foundation is cracked, the whole building falls. If you start weak, distracted, sloppy, you carry that same energy into everything else you do. But if you start strong, if you start locked in, you set a tone of discipline, focus, and execution that nothing can shake. Listen to me, you cannot give your first hour away. The world wants to steal it. Your phone wants to steal it. Your notifications want to steal it. Other people's opinions want to steal it. But greatness doesn't come from reacting. It comes from acting. It comes from waking up and saying, this first hour belongs to me. This is my time. This is my space to set the tone for success. What you do in the morning programs your mind. If you start by scrolling, you feed your mind junk. If you start with negativity, you feed your spirit weakness. But if you start with discipline, hydration, movement, prayer, meditation, journaling, gratitude, you tell yourself, I am in control. I am focused. I am ready to attack. Think about champions. They don't wake up and hope the day goes right. They wake up and make the day go right. They win the first hour because they know the first hour is the seed that grows into the harvest of the day. Before you touch your phone, before you check emails, before you let the world in, you set your mission. Speak it out loud. Write it down. Move your body. Lock in your mind. Build momentum with action. Because when you win the first hour, you don't just win the morning. You win the day. Everybody wants success, but not everybody is willing to pay the price. You know what separates the average from the elite? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's discipline. And discipline always shows up first thing in the morning. Yo, see, comfort whispers in your ear. When the alarm goes off, stay in bed. Rest a little longer. You deserve it. But discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline says, get up, move. You made a commitment. You said you wanted this. Now prove it. Your morning is the first test you face every single day. And it's not about whether you're motivated. Motivation fades. Some mornings you won't feel it. Discipline is the muscle that pushes you through when motivation disappears. Discipline gets you out of bed when your body says no. Discipline keeps you on track when your feelings tell you to quit. Understand this. The people at the top aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who pushed themselves when it was hard. They're the ones who chose discipline over comfort again and again until it became who they were. That's why their mornings look different. That's why their results look different. Every decision you make in those first hours of the day is shaping your character. When you choose comfort, you reinforce weakness. When you choose discipline, you reinforce strength. Over time, those small decisions stack into habits, and those habits create your destiny. Most people lose the battle before the day even starts. They let comfort win, and then they wonder why their life feels stuck. But the ones who live with discipline, they carry a quiet power. They know they can trust themselves. They know they can execute whether they feel like it or not. And that confidence follows them into every meeting, every workout, every opportunity. So when the world sees your results, they'll call you talented. They'll call you lucky. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It was discipline. And it all started in the morning. Focus is the weapon. Distractions are the silent killers of success. They don't come crashing in with alarms. They sneak in quietly, little by little, stealing your time, your energy, your attention. And the truth is this: if you don't win the battle for focus in the morning, you'll lose the war for your destiny. Think about it. The moment you wake up, the world is already competing for your attention. Emails, notifications, news. Noise. If you don't decide where your focus goes, somebody else will decide for you. And once your attention is scattered, your power is scattered. Focus is the weapon that separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers talk about goals, but doers lock in on them. They wake up with clarity. They know what matters and what doesn't. They don't chase 10 things. They chase one thing until it's finished. When you give your first energy to distractions, you're planting seeds of chaos. But when you give your first energy to focus, you're planting seeds of order and growth. That's why the greats are intentional with their mornings. They protect that space like it's sacred, because it is. You've got to understand, clarity creates confidence. If you start your day knowing exactly what you need to accomplish, you move different. You don't waste time wondering what to do. You already decided. You don't get lost in distractions. You're locked in on your mission. Some people wake up and let life push them around. Others wake up and push life forward with laser focus. Which one are you? Are you letting the noise decide your direction, or are you taking ownership of your vision? Because here's the truth. You can't hit a target you can't see. And if your focus is scattered, your results will be too. But if your focus is sharp, if your mind is locked in from the very start of the day, then your actions line up, your energy lines up, your results line up. Your morning is the training ground for focus. If you can't focus when the day is quiet, how will you focus when it's loud? If you can't focus when nothing is pulling at you, how will you focus when everything is pulling at you? A focus isn't just a skill, it's a weapon. And if you sharpen it in the morning, nothing can stop you during the day. Energy creates momentum. You can't crawl into the day and expect to dominate it. You can't drag your feet through the morning and think you're about to win championships in the afternoon. That's not how this works. Energy is the engine that drives performance, and the morning is where you build it. Listen, energy is not something you wait for. It's something you create. Too many people wake up slow, move slow, think slow, and then wonder why they can't catch momentum. But momentum doesn't fall out of the sky. Momentum is built when you decide the second your feet hit the floor that you're coming with energy. Movement creates energy. Action creates energy. A decision to get up with urgency, to move your body, to feed your mind. That's how you generate the force that carries you into the rest of the day. The more energy you bring in the morning, the easier it is to keep that momentum going when the challenges come. Picture a train. When it's still, it takes massive force to get it moving. But once it's rolling, it's almost unstoppable. That's you. If you start slow, you stay slow. But if you start with power, with intensity, with energy, you become unstoppable. Yeah. And here's the truth. The energy you bring doesn't just affect you. It affects everyone around you. Your coworkers, your teammates, your family. They feed off your energy. When you step into the day charged, you change the atmosphere. You raise the standard. You create a ripple effect of momentum that spreads further than you realize. But it all starts in the morning. If you hit snooze, if you roll out of bed half asleep, if you stumble into the day with no urgency, you've already lost speed before you even left the station. The best don't wait to feel energized. They make energy. They move their body. They breathe deep. They hydrate. They set their intentions. They fire themselves up with gratitude, with vision, with action. They know that if they own their energy, they own their momentum. And if they own their momentum, they own the results. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for energy to magically show up. Get up and create it. Because energy in the morning is what separates the unstoppable from the ordinary. Consistency builds strength. One good morning won't change your life. One day of focus won't rewrite your story. One burst of motivation won't take you to the top. Success is built on repetition, and repetition is built on consistency. The morning is where that consistency is tested. Every single sunrise gives you the same choice. Will you stay committed or will you fall back into comfort? Lord. And every time you choose commitment, you're building strength, not just physical strength, but mental, emotional, and spiritual strength. Think about it like this. When you keep your word to yourself day after day, you build trust with yourself. That trust becomes confidence. Confidence becomes action, and action produces results. But it all starts with keeping your mornings consistent. Most people are stop and go. They'll wake up early one day, but then sleep in the next. They'll grind hard for a week, then vanish for a month. That's why their results are inconsistent, because their habits are inconsistent. You can't expect stability from chaos. You can't expect greatness from randomness. Consistency is like compound interest. It doesn't look like much at first, but over time, it multiplies into something powerful. Reading for Usher's Minutes every morning might not look life-changing today, but 5 years from now, that knowledge separates you. Exercising every morning might not show results in a week, but a year from now, it makes you unstoppable. Writing down your goals every morning might feel repetitive, but over time, it reprograms your mind to think and act like a winner. Here's the key. Discipline creates consistency, and consistency creates transformation. The strongest people aren't the ones who had one great morning. They're the ones who stacked hundreds of mornings, thousands of mornings, until greatness became who they were, not just something they did. So stop looking for one big moment to change your life. It's not coming. Your life is changed in the small, consistent decisions you make every single morning. That alarm clock, that's not just an alarm. That's a test. That routine, that's not just a schedule. That's a contract with your future. Consistency builds strength. Consistency builds confidence. Consistency builds greatness. And it starts in the morning. Every morning. The morning is your advantage. The morning is where separation happens. It's where the gap between average and great gets wider. While the world is still asleep, the focused are already moving. While most people are dragging, the disciplined are already stacking wins. That's the advantage the morning gives you, if you choose to take it. You want to know why the greats get ahead? It's not just talent. It's not just resources. It's that they use the hours other people waste. They claim the morning before the distractions come. They attack the day before life has a chance to slow them down. Think about it. Most people hit snooze. Most people scroll. Most people wake up reacting. By the time they get their mind right, half the day is gone. But the ones who use the morning, they've already made progress while everybody else is still trying to wake up. The morning is quiet. The world hasn't started pulling at you yet. That's your window. That's your battlefield. That's when you can think clearly, move strategically, and execute without noise. If you give that time away, you give away your edge. Your competition isn't just the people you see. It's the version of yourself that wants to stay comfortable. And the way you beat that version is by owning the morning. If you wake up and go hard while others hesitate, you build momentum that can't be matched. This is why discipline in the morning pays off so much. You're not just working, you're getting ahead. You're creating a lead. You're giving yourself extra hours that compound into extra opportunities, extra skills, extra wins. Over time, that advantage becomes impossible to catch. Most people want success, but they're not willing to take advantage of the opportunities right in front of them. And the biggest opportunity, it's the morning. That's when the game is played. That's when you decide if you're going to blend in with the crowd or rise above it. So ask yourself, are you wasting your advantage or are you using it? Are you giving away your edge or are you sharpening it every single day? Because the morning will either be your weapon or your weakness. And the choice is yours. Raise your standard. Your morning is a mirror. It reflects your standard. If you wake up sloppy, late, distracted, that's not just about your morning. That's about how you live your life. If you wake up sharp, Intentional discipline. That standard follows you everywhere you go. Listen, average mornings create average people. Great mornings create great people. It's not magic. It's not mystery. It's the standard you set and refuse to drop. Most people live by feelings. If they feel tired, they stay in bed. If they feel lazy, they move slow. But people who live by standards don't ask how they feel. They ask what they've committed to. Feelings are temporary. Standards are permanent. Your standard says, this is who I am. This is how I operate. This is the level I refuse to go below. And when you set that level high, your mornings start to change. You don't just roll out of bed. You rise with urgency. You don't just check your phone. You check your purpose. You don't just hope for a good day. You create it with intention. Raise your standard, and suddenly your mornings look different. You're not snoozing alarms. You're beating them. You're not waking up lost. You're waking up locked in. You're not wasting time. You're investing it. And here's the truth. People respect results, and results come from standards. If you accept mediocrity in your mornings, you'll accept mediocrity in your life. But if you demand greatness from yourself before the sun is even up, that greatness will show up everywhere else. Your work, your relationships, your health, your legacy. So stop asking, what do I feel like doing in the morning? And start asking, what standard am I living by? Because the standard you set in the morning is the standard you set for your life. Your morning shapes your identity. Every morning is a chance to declare who you are. Not with words, not with promises, but with actions. The way you start your day tells the world and yourself what kind of person you are becoming. If you hit snooze, you're telling yourself you're okay with settling. If you hit snooze, you're telling yourself you're okay with settling. If you wake up with urgency, you're telling yourself you're built for greatness. If you waste time on distractions, you're programming your mind to drift. But if you focus, plan, and execute, you're training your identity to match your destiny. Identity is powerful because it's permanent. Habits create identity, and identity creates lifestyle. And it all begins in those first hours of the day. That's when you're either reinforcing weakness or reinforcing strength. You can't fake identity. You can't just say you're disciplined. You have to prove it every morning. You can't just say you're committed. You've got to back it up with action before most people even open their eyes. Your identity is built in the quiet when no one's watching. And the morning is the ultimate testing ground. The most dangerous lie you can tell yourself is, it doesn't matter. Because it does. Every small choice adds up. Every morning builds momentum. Every repetition locks in a belief about who you are. And before long, that belief becomes your reality. Ask yourself, who are you becoming each morning? Are you building the identity of a leader, a grinder, a finisher? Or are you building the identity of someone who waits, who hesitates, who lets life pass by? Your identity is your greatest weapon, and the morning is where you sharpen it. Don't waste that chance. Don't hand over your power to excuses. Wake up every day and prove to yourself exactly who you are and what you stand for. The morning protects your vision. Everybody talks about vision. Everybody wants a future filled with success, freedom, and impact. But here's the truth. Vision without execution is just a dream. And execution starts in the morning. The morning is the shield that protects your vision. Why? Because the moment you step into the day, the world is coming at you. Distractions, problems, noise, negativity, it's all waiting to pull you off course. But when you own your morning, you set the tone. You anchor yourself in discipline before chaos even knocks on the door. You can't expect to live out a big vision with small, careless mornings. If your goals are massive, your mornings have to match that energy. You can't say you want greatness, but treat the start of your day like it's optional. That's a contradiction. Big dreams require big habits. Every morning is a chance to align with your vision. When you wake up and write down your goals, you remind yourself where you're going. When you get up and grind early, you remind yourself what it's going to take. When you refuse to waste time, you remind yourself why you started in the first place. That repetition builds clarity, and clarity builds confidence. Most people lose their vision not because they stop dreaming, but because they stop building daily habits that support the dream. They let morning slip. They let urgency die. They let comfort replace commitment. And over time, their vision fades. But not you. You're going to protect your vision. You're going to guard it like it's priceless, because it is. Your vision is your future, your family's future, your legacy. And the way you protect it is by controlling what you do the first hour of every day. Don't gamble with your mornings. Don't play small when the stakes are everything. Lock in, focus up, and let your mornings prove to your vision that you're serious about making it real. Energy is everything. Without energy, discipline collapses. Without energy, focus drifts. Without energy, even the best vision never leaves the paper. And the truth is, your energy starts in the morning. The morning is where you either charge your battery or drain it. When you wake up with intention, move your body, speak life into yourself, and attack your plan, you're generating energy that carries you through the day. But when you wake up sluggish, scrolling, complaining, you're draining energy before the day even starts. Success requires momentum, and momentum comes from energy. You don't have to feel binary bite every day, but you do have to start moving. Because once you move, energy builds. Once you create, energy flows. Once you focus, energy expands. That's why the way you start matters. It sets the pace. It sets the rhythm. It sets the vibe. Think about it like this. If you push a car that's parked, it feels heavy. But once it's rolling, even a little push keeps it moving. That's your life. The morning is the push. It's hard at first, but once you get moving, the day becomes lighter, smoother, faster. And don't miss this. Energy isn't just physical. It's mental. It's emotional. It's spiritual. If you wake up and put the right things in your mind, you're fueled. If you wake up and speak negativity, you're drained. If you wake up and focus on gratitude, discipline, and growth, you're unstoppable. You don't need to chase motivation all day if you start the morning fueling your energy. That's why some people stay stuck. They're running on empty by Joe AM. But the ones who lock in early, they're charged, they're sharp, they're ahead. So treat your morning like your power station. Get up, plug into discipline, plug into gratitude, plug into purpose. Fill yourself with the energy you'll need to dominate the day. Because if you win the morning, your energy will carry you through battles you thought you couldn't handle. At the end of the day, this isn't about alarms, routines, or checklists. It's about destiny. Your mornings are carving out the future you're going to live in. Every choice you make at sunrise is a brick in the foundation of your legacy. Destiny isn't built in one big moment. It's not when the spotlight's on you. It's not when everyone's cheering. It's built in the silence. It's built in the discipline. It's built in the decisions nobody sees. And the morning is where all of that happens. When you rise with purpose, you're declaring to your future, I'm coming for everything that belongs to me. When you wake up and grind, hey, you're telling your legacy, I will not waste the time I've been given. When you own the morning, you're proving to yourself and to the world that greatness is non-negotiable. Understand this. The life you're dreaming about depends on the mornings you commit to right now. Your family's future depends on how disciplined you are when that alarm clock goes off. Your legacy depends on whether you choose comfort or choose calling. Years from now, when people look at your life, they won't see the snooze buttons you hit. They won't see the mornings you wasted. They'll see the results, the impact, the story you left behind. And all of it will trace back to how you showed up every single morning. So don't take this lightly. Your morning isn't just about today. It's about forever. It's about what your kids inherit. It's about how your name is remembered. It's about whether you lived full or died with regret. You know, the morning is destiny. The morning is legacy. The morning is life. And the question you need to ask yourself is simple. How will I show up tomorrow? You know, because your answer to that question is your future. Listen, don't just let these words inspire you for a moment. Let them transform you for a lifetime. Your mornings are your foundation, your fuel, your future. And if you're serious about building a life of greatness, it starts with what you do the minute that alarm clock rings. So here's what I need from you. Tomorrow morning, prove it. Don't just hear me. Apply it. Win the morning and you'll win the day. Win enough days and you'll win your life. You know, if this message lit a fire in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with somebody who needs to wake up to their potential. And if you want to stay locked in with daily motivation, subscribe right now. Because every day I'm bringing the same energy, the same focus, the same truth straight to you. Let's build this together. Let's create a movement of people who refuse to waste their mornings, who refuse to waste their lives. The morning is yours. The future is yours. Now go get it.